What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jamily, JamiroFan 2000, the beard of wisdom of the online Jamily, with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About. From the initiated of this series of nearly 9 years here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel, this has been my periodic discussion series looking at the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai and the now over 32 years of musical and influential making. This episode of JamiroFan Talks About is going to be looking at a bit of an interesting anniversary of one of the most recent Jamiroquai albums to come out. Of course, 2025, March 31st, this is the 8th anniversary of the release of the Futura-Funk masterpiece by Jamiroquai, their second album released through Universal Music. Of course, I'm talking about Automaton. The Automaton musical era for Jamiroquai was absolutely amazing. And technically speaking, with all the content creation I've been doing on social media, I was there for all 4 years of the Automaton era between 2017 to 2020, and it was a bewilderingly amazing time. Not to mention the album Automaton itself was a bit of a Futura-Funk musical return to form for the band Jamiroquai, and not to mention it hit a lot of major milestones, at least on sales, being the first Jamiroquai album in some years to hit over #1 in the album sales charts in its first week of release in March of 2017 in 51 countries, which even warranted a video on the Jamiroquai HQ official Instagram of JK backstage thanking all the members of the Jamily around the world for helping on Maidon, and its first week of release hit a major album selling milestone in that time. Not to mention, I spent a lot of my time in that period doing a lot of news breaks, and this just lead me into another bit of information that I have not shared with the online Jamily yet, but in my current 12th resource and information guide series that I'm currently doing called Jam Editorials, I do plan on writing a special Jam editorial to reflect and do a retrospective of my 4 years in the Automaton era of Jamiroquai's album history, at least from my visage and point of view of all the amazing news breaks and all the amazing stuff that happened during those 4 years of the Automaton era. So keep your eyes out for that, hopefully to be out sometime in the next 2 to 3 months, but that's just something I wanted to share. But back to Automaton, it was an absolutely amazing album, at least kind of grasping onto the experimental side that Jamiroquai had started back in, going all the way back to 1998, synchronized and updating with 2001's A Funk Odyssey, and of course being more experimental Futura-Funk with an EDM influence being explored a lot on 2006's Dynamite, which of course was their next to last album released through Sony Music until they ended up signing a undisclosed album deal with a length of an album deal with Universal Music, and so far having released 2 albums, Rock This Light Star and from 2010, and of course the aforementioned 2017's Automaton, which I still think is one of their best latter discography albums. And I did do a little bit of celebratory posts on the twin subreddits of the online Jamily of some of the Imgur albums, the endless amount of plethora of Imgur albums, of all the pictures I compiled from all that major time, some backstage pictures of the band on the road during all 4 years of that album tour. So be sure to check the subreddits of the online Jamily for those posts. And of course, in addition, I will share some of those select Imgur albums from that amazing Automaton album era time down in the description area of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About down below. So be sure to reflect on that amazing period of growth for Jamiroquai. And yes, Automaton was a major growth, at least for the latter album catalog for Jamiroquai, and is definitely one of my favorite Jamiroquai albums so far. The 8 studio albums they have so far released, but highly recommend you all to go and discover or reflect or re-listen to Automaton. It was a blisteringly amazing album, and it gets better and better with all the listens, believe me, I assure you. But I hope you enjoy this episode of JamiroFan Talks About, reflecting back on 4 years of Automaton and the 8th anniversary of that album. If you like what you see on my channel, be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest new content coming from the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel as we enter into the second quarter of 2025, and optimistically by the end of this year, the 9th album era of Jamiroquai's musicology. I will fully endeavor to bring you all the latest Jamiroquai news as it becomes available. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. Thank you again, everyone, for the continued support here on YouTube, and I'll see you again really soon with more Jamiroquai-related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Happy 8th anniversary on Automaton, and I'll see you around.